In Pittsburgh, the wait for Aaron Rodgers continues. The four-time MVP remains unsigned, yet intrigue swirls after he and Steelers star wide receiver DK Metcalf were spotted at a throwing session over the weekend at UCLA. When asked about Rodgers and the uncertainty surrounding his decision, Steelers owner Art Rooney provided measured optimism. "I would say it was a good sign that he wanted to do that," Rooney remarked. "We keep hearing that he's headed in our direction, and so far, all signs have been positive." The Steelers find themselves in unfamiliar territory, waiting on a future Hall of Fame quarterback to make a decision that could alter their franchise trajectory. Historically, Pittsburgh has been an organization that dictates terms rather than waits on them. For decades, their approach to roster building was defined by internal development and a reluctance to chase high-profile free agents. Players gravitated toward the Steelers' culture, a tradition built on stability, winning, and an unmistakable identity. And yet, here they are, standing at the crossroads, awaiting the verdict of a 41-year-old quarterback who missed the playoffs last season and whose former team fell short of expectations. This situation is of Pittsburgh's own making. The Steelers passed on making an aggressive push for Justin Fields. Despite the opportunity to secure him, they showed little interest in Russell Wilson before he landed in Pittsburgh on a bargain deal. Instead, they have placed their quarterback future in limbo, hoping Rodgers chooses him and postpones his retirement for at least one more season. The power dynamic in this situation favors Rodgers, not the Steelers. He controls the timeline, and he holds the leverage. If he walks away, Pittsburgh is left scrambling for an alternative, with no long-term quarterback solution in place. It's an uncomfortable position for Rooney, one that is evident even in his cautious public statements. Beneath his words lies the reality. Pittsburgh's front office is assuring him that waiting is the right move, but patience has its limits. The uncertainty is compounded by recent misfires at the quarterback position. The selection of Kenny Pickett in the first round was meant to solidify the future, but that experiment has faltered. Now, even if Rodgers joins, he represents only a temporary solution, a one-year Band-Aid at best. The Steelers will eventually have to return to the draft, attempting once more to find their next franchise signal caller. Last offseason, Pittsburgh was praised for its ability to secure quarterbacks at bargain prices. The acquisitions of Wilson and Fields were seen as low-risk, high-reward moves. However, as some analysts predicted, the Steelers now find themselves facing the prospect that neither was the answer. If the Dallas Cowboys are often criticized for being frugal, it's only fair to point out that Pittsburgh has taken a similarly cautious approach at the most critical position in football. They could have outbid the Jets for Fields. They could have gone all in on a proven veteran. Instead, they opted for financial prudence, and now they are left hoping for a solution that isn't entirely in their control. Rodgers, despite his age, remains an enticing option. Entering his 21st season, he has only thrown double-digit interceptions 4 times. However, 2 of those seasons came in his last 2 full campaigns, raising concerns about his decline. Yet, for the Steelers, the post-Ben Roethlisberger era has been anything but smooth. The need for stability under center is glaring. The recent throwing session with Metcalf adds another layer to the story. It wasn't a coincidence that Rodgers and the Steelers' top receiver met in Los Angeles. These workouts aren't random, they are intentional. Typically, such sessions include multiple players, a mix of college prospects and free agents looking for reps. But in this case, it was just Rodgers and Metcalf, a clear indication of a deeper purpose. Was it a calculated move by Rodgers to generate attention? Perhaps. But for the Steelers, it was a promising development. If Rodgers is investing time with Metcalf, it suggests he is seriously considering Pittsburgh as his next destination. Meanwhile, the larger quarterback conversation in the NFL continues, particularly as the draft approaches. ESPN's latest mock draft, version 4.0, projects Jackson Dart to the Steelers at number 21. Other notable projections include Cam Ward going number 1 overall to Titans and Shedeur Sanders at number 3 to the Giants. The latter selection is particularly intriguing given New York's quarterback situation. The Giants have taken steps to address the position, adding Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, while retaining Tommy DeVito. Yet, none of those names offer long-term security. If New York is convinced that Sanders is their guy, they must act decisively. Last season, the Giants held the number 6 overall pick and tried to trade up for Drake May. The Patriots refused, prioritizing their own quarterback future. The lesson is clear. Teams can't afford to hesitate when it comes to securing a franchise quarterback. Sanders remains a polarizing prospect, ranked number 16 on ESPN's big board. Some scouts question whether he is worthy of a top 3 selection. However, the reality of modern quarterback development is shifting. Many passers who struggled early in their careers have later found success, often with different teams. Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, and Sam Darnold serve as recent examples. The Giants must determine if Sanders is the kind of player who can thrive with the right infrastructure, or if he is another risk in a high-stakes draft. As the draft nears, the Giants are keeping their options open. While Sanders remains a possibility, other elite prospects like Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter could be in play. If the organization isn't fully convinced on Sanders, pivoting to an impact player at another position might be the wiser move. One thing is certain. Uncertainty reigns at quarterback for multiple teams. The Steelers are waiting on Rodgers. The Giants are evaluating Sanders. The countdown to the draft continues, and as history has shown, decisions made in April can define franchises for years to come.